As you may have seen in the announcement, gentlemen, the Idolra Run banner is about to be released soon, and it is worth pulling. Especially I.Mari, she is extremely useful in many raid contents: Kurukage, Hieronymus, Jebura, Gregorius, and even Yesod. I mean, she literally covers almost the entire range of available raids, and is nearly essential for clearing event challenges due to her incredibly high versatility. Well, technically, what she does is simply healing with a cheap X skill cost and reducing the X skill cost of all allies by 1. That is all she does as a striker healer, but she is the best at that role. If you do not have I.Mari, I can guarantee that she will help you in those raids. Even if you already have Kokona, you may still need I.Mari for those contents, as she can probably replace Kokona entirely and is much more comfortable to use. As for the other banner, I.Sakurako, she is currently useful for Jebura as a support core for special DPS, and optionally for Gregorius in special DPS runs. It is still fine to pull for her if you want, but you should also consider saving for the 5th fest. So, if you are lucky enough to get I.Mari early, then try to skip I.Sakurako and save for the 5th fest. Worst case, if you have to spark, then picking only I.Mari should be fine. But remember, do not pull if your pyroxenes are not even hitting 24k. It is far too risky to pull without securing a spark. And that is about it. The other banners are not worth pulling. So, get I.Mari, and get out of there. For the build, the minimum requirement for I.Mari is 4 stars with a 4-7-7-7 skill setup. The most comfortable spot is UE 40 or 7 stars, depending on what you prefer to call it, with all skills maxed and fully upgraded gear, prioritizing the hairpin and necklace. As for I.Sakurako, 4 stars is already sufficient, with max level on her X skill and sub skill. For gear, only prioritize maxing her hairpin. The other skills and equipment are not a high priority, as her role is mainly for support and she is not intended to deal significant damage. UE 40 or 7 stars is fine to unlock if you feel there is something missing or mismatched when comparing your runs to raid videos on YouTube, since even slight duration differences can matter in most runs. However, if you are in a dilemma about whether to pick I.Mari or Kisaki, then choose Kisaki. Kisaki has been more widely used since her release, best in slot special and almost irreplaceable. Unless you are planning to buy a selective ticket later to pick Kisaki, though I am not sure when that will be available, and you will probably miss a lot of content by not having her. Which means you could skip I.Mari and rely on Koharu as your striker healer. There is nothing wrong with that, except Koharu cannot reduce X skill cost, but she can keep everyone alive during the battle. So yes, go for I.Mari, and if you can get I.Sakurako as well, that is a bonus. The rest are skippable. Or you could save for Kisaki instead, but since Kisaki is not limited while I.Mari is, you might be thinking you could get spooked by Kisaki while pulling on I.Mari's banner. Well, good luck. So, in short, yes, they are worth pulling. If you happen to have limited pyroxenes or prefer to collect fest students instead because you insist, that is fine. You can replace I.Mari with Koharu and rely on older strategies. However, for I.Sakurako, there is still no better replacement. In the end, you should pull for what you like the most. If you like them, then go for them. I suppose the reason this video exists is to tell you that, yes, they are very useful. And that should be all. As always, Godspeed.